Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee, powered by Flurry Sports. It can be tough to win a fantasy league on your own, but at FFBC, we will work together to bring home the hardware. Hosted by Zach Bruner and the rest of the Flurry Sports crew, we will give top-level analysis, answer your questions, and, well, go off on other tangents.
That was after I tried to get ChatGPT to admit that 9/11 was an inside job, but it stood firm. It gave quite a few solid points that it was true.
Welcome to Fantasy Football by Committee. The show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee. Week 10 rankings are what we are going over tonight. I think in most leagues, next week or the week after is the trade deadline as well. So, trades are going to be happening a bunch this week. If you're watching live, if you're watching after the fact, definitely drop your trade questions and we can answer those as well as the start-sit stuff. But the best place to get trade advice, obviously, is the Fantasy Football by Committee Facebook group. If you're watching on YouTube, it is linked below. And there you can ask your questions as yourself or anonymously. You'll ask them to all three of us and other people in the community. You can answer other people's trade questions as well. So definitely go join Fantasy Football by Committee on Facebook. Trevor Land's in the middle, Luke Reimer on the right. I am Zach Bruner. Anything you guys want to say before we get going?
Yeah, this week sucks for fantasy football. There's tons of good teams on bye.
Yeah, I mean, Dolphins, Chiefs, Eagles, and Rams. So
Yeah.
quarterbacks especially, wide receivers especially.
I would imagine a lot of trades are going on this week.
I would think so. According to, the comments on some of our YouTube videos, what's up, Stoof, especially the Justin Jefferson video from before. A lot of people are trading for or trading away Justin Jefferson as well. His practice window just opened. I'm guessing he's not back this week. I would assume the week after. But he is someone who people are wondering about value quite a bit, and is definitely being traded a bunch. Obviously, Kyler Murray is going to make his debut. He's trade bait for a lot of people, myself included, in some leagues where I have a quarterback. I feel good. Might want to shop Kyler around a little bit, but in other leagues, like I have Geno Smith as my starter, and now Kyler Murray is back, and I couldn't be happier. I all of a sudden am cheering for Kyler Murray's success.
Hell yeah.
I know it's not a fun place to be, but it is what it is. But let's just jump into quarterbacks here. I have Josh Allen versus the Broncos on Monday Night Football as my number one quarterback. I have Joe Burrow at 2 versus the Texans. Dak Prescott 3 versus the Giants. Justin Herbert 4 versus the Lions. And Lamar Jackson 5 versus the Browns. I was trying to figure out where I wanted to put Lamar Jackson. It feels like he's going to struggle a little bit more, but he's been playing so fucking good that I kind of had to put him there, I thought.
Yeah.
But Trevor, what do you think of those 5 quarterbacks?
Yeah, it's certainly tough. You look at Lamar and he's playing Cleveland. He shouldn't be good, but I think he's the MVP of the league right now. And I don't know if it's necessarily close. So as much as I want to put him outside the top 5, there's no reason to. Like, every other quarterback has had at least one bad week, and I feel like Lamar just hasn't. So I would expect it to keep going even against a good Cleveland team.
Trevor, I agree. Zach just talked to you a little bit about Joe Burrow. Does the Jamar Chase not playing factor into this at all?
I certainly like Joe Burrow better with,
of course,
Chase, obviously, but I think T. Higgins showed enough last week to prove that he is capable of shouldering the load if need be. And then, the other receivers have played well. It's Tyler Boyd, Irwin's played well. Irv Smith came alive a little bit last week. So there's enough people where I'm not too worried.
It's interesting, too, and maybe we'll talk about it when we get to tight ends, but it seemed like the focus was for the Bengals to get the tight ends involved early against the Bills last week. I wonder if that continues.
completely didn't hear anything you said. I was reading Stu's comment. I mean, hey, if you get a chance to watch Dylan Brooks shut down LeBron, you got to do it.
Tight ends with Bengals getting involved early.
Maybe like people. I feel like people are overvaluing Irv Smith this week. I've seen a lot of people talk him up as a pickup and stuff like that, and I just can't imagine there's consistency out of Irv Smith. Maybe, but I don't know.
I agree. I just wonder if that hinges on the back of like a tight end that's on waivers caught a touchdown. With how bad tight ends are, let's just take a shot in the dark here.
Well, I mean, of course, everyone's overreacting right now. People are desperate. Some people at Dallas Goedert break his arm. Other people who invested, the people essentially who, felt so safe at tight end all year long, the Travis Kelce owners, now that don't have Travis Kelce as well. So they're panicking a little bit. But yeah, I mean, the waiver wire articles and stuff like that is always just overreaction, right? So it is what it is. Keaton Mitchell, top pickup. I'm sure.
I'm sure he's going to get 20 carries.
I keep telling everyone who says I'm an idiot, I'm like, start him this week.
Yeah, do it. Please.
Yeah, if you picked him up, you better start him. Like, that's all. That's all. If you want to talk shit, do it, and we'll see. I'll admit I'm wrong if he rushes for 150 and a touchdown again. It's possible. Trevor, how do you feel about McAdoo essentially complimenting you, thinking that you can grow a nice beard? I'm looking at it positively, I would say.
And I'm mute. Feels good, I guess. Sure, I'll take it. I'll take what I can get.
I'll also say that McAdoo, I did shave this morning.
Fair enough. I wanted to look up MVP odds just for a quick tangent.
I read it. I was at the bar today. I think Mahomes is leading.
He's leading. That's not a surprise, and his stats prove it. But I fully agree that Lamar's played the best out of all quarterbacks. I'm not sure if that's really arguable. It's just, I mean, like last game, obviously he destroyed the Seahawks, but his stats weren't that great.
Right.
There's been multiple games like that this year. He's third in the odds at plus 500. Mahomes is plus 240, which is pretty far and away the favorite. Jalen Hurts is in between them at 320.
Somehow Josh Allen is in there.
He's 6, so it's Tua plus 650 at 4. Joe Burrow is plus 900 at 5, which is insane. Josh Allen plus 1400 at 6, and then without reading odds after that, it's Trevor Lawrence, Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, Tyreek Hill, Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud.
Where the fuck is AJ Brown?
Immediately after.
Okay.
And then immediately after that is Geno Smith.
Crazy.
Does anybody I mean, maybe that just shows how terrible. I mean, I've been saying it all year how terrible quarterback play has been and how terrible football has been. But like outside of, I mean, Mahomes, I guess, has had some horrendous games too. But for the most part, Mahomes, Hurts, and Lamar have been solid across the board. And then in my opinion, it's a massive, massive, massive drop off.
Certainly.
I don't know. Like Joe Burrow, people are like, is he washed? Are we going to forget that part? Like, I disagree with people saying that, but
I think it'll undefeat Joe Burrow for whatever that's worth. I think they're going to run.
They're going to have to. I don't know if they will.
They did it last year.
Stu, he called Trev boyish and Luke dusty in the same comment.
Trevor, has anyone ever called you Trev before?
Trev?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes.
Ralph has a trade question here. Traded Kyron Williams and Tank Dell for Josh Jacobs to replace Madison as my second RB. Commish wasn't happy, but I am. I don't think that's a super lopsided trade.
No, I'm happy you get Jacobs and like. Is Kyron's got to be coming back soon? No.
I believe. I mean, they're on bye, and then I think he's out for one more game after.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. And Tank's been fine this year.
Yeah. I think I would rather have Jacobs at this point, but there's no doubting how great Kyron Williams was prior to getting hurt. I just think he's going to share more of the workload once he comes back. So I like the trade for you, but there's no reason to get upset.
The upset's got to come back from just big name value versus a guy not knowing Tank Dell and Kyron Williams.
I guess. I don't know. He needs a flex now that JSN didn't practice. He has Taysom. I'm guessing Gabe Davis, Madison, or Algier. I'm firing up Madison.
Yep. I like Madison going forward. You know, of course, Josh Dobbs had a great game, but Minnesota has to run the ball for Josh Dobbs to have another great game. So I'm with it. And this is Madison's backfield now that Cam Akers is out.
Right. Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I think starting Algier is getting a little too cute, even for as bad as Arthur Smith is for fantasy. And Taysom Hill is fun, but like, is it really he's probably going to get you like 3 points, and then he just look like a jackass.
I'm curious, Ralph, if you're still in the chat, let me know who your tight end is if you're not starting Taysom Hill there.
That's fair.
Not that it means anything. I'm just curious.
Jackson. He has Moore. I'm going DJ Moore. DK Metcalf, Hollywood, Puka, A-Chain, Davante, McCaffrey, Kelsey Hurts, Pop Douglas, McBride, 12-team PPR. Anything I should change up? 7-2, so he has some wiggle room. I think you can improve the top end of your receivers. I think all three of us are in agreement with DK Metcalf, at least, where I'm not sure if we trust him any week, right?
No, you're throwing a dart at a board to when you start him.
Right. But I think he still has the name value where I think you can trade him.
Yeah, I'm really curious how Hollywood does with Kyler coming back. Do you think that improves, just goes down, anything like that?
I think it improves.
It's got to, right?
Yeah. And I think he's going to have a good week. So if he pops off against the Falcons, I don't mind selling high. But I think overall, I think he's going to be startable.
Yeah,
the rest of the way. But DJ Moore.
I bet you could trade Hollywood for something too right now with Kyler.
Probably. I just really think if you don't want to risk him, sucking.
Yeah.
Go ahead. But DJ Moore should get better with Fields coming back next week. DK, I would say, I would probably pair DK with A-Chain or something and really upgrade. Wide receiver.
I don't hate that. In a vacuum, I think that's a very good team, and you're 7-2, so you probably shouldn't tinker too much because this team has gotten you 7 out of 9 wins. So I'm cool with it. But yeah, I agree, Zach. If you have to make a move, upgrade wide receiver 1.
To be fair, I'm 7-2 in our bigger dynasty, and my team's fucking terrible. So,
this year for fantasy in general has been weird with the teams that are losing and the teams that are winning. It's just how the weeks line up. It just feels weird.
We play matchups, baby. I have less points scored than I think the last place team.
Crazy.
But hey, number one, we play good D. What do you want to say?
Thanks, Jackson.
Spubsy, would you trade Gibbs for Ayuk full PPR? Really need a win this week. Right now, I have Wan'Dale Robinson as my wide receiver 3 because of bye weeks. I mean, if you need to win and Gibbs isn't in your starting lineup, then I think you got to do it.
Yep. Certainly. How much do you trust Tommy DeVito? I don't think anybody on earth has any trust in Tommy DeVito this week against Dallas. Dallas is 17-point favorites or something like that. So nobody in the world has any trust for Tommy DeVito this week to throw a touchdown at least,
Yeah, no shot. I think the last time he was in the game, I'm not convinced he's a starter. I think they might. I can't remember who else is there. Someone might hurdle him.
Tyrod's
on IR.
He's on IR. There's somebody else there. I can't remember. But if DeVito starts, I would put the over-under on completed passes at 11.5, maybe.
Yeah.
And the over-under on Saquon's rush attempts at 28.5.
36.5, basically.
Yeah, maybe. We've seen them just run the ball no matter what, win or lose, leading, behind, whatever, when DeVito's in there. So Logan Thomas or Noah Brown at flex. I have Smith and Puka on bye. Then I have Taysom at starting tight end, says War Eagle. I'm going Logan Thomas unless we know for sure Robert Woods is out. If Robert Woods is playing, Noah Brown's not rosterable.
Well, also Noah Brown's CJ Stroud went off against a Tampa Bay team. He was they're top 5 or top 5 lowest or whatever it is in passing yards given up. That's not going to happen again.
Wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I'm with Logan Thomas.
I've always been a Logan Thomas guy. He's got a higher floor too, and that's really what you need at flex. It's a bye week. You're just trying to survive here.
Yeah, but I I will say though, if Robert Woods is out, then I think I would start Noah Brown. I think it's closer then, and then I'll go with the higher upside at that point. Ralph, I think it's because I won last year, so helping out the champ. Oh, this is the person who was scolded. Have Hurts, Jefferson, Ayuki, TN, Jacobs, Kittle, Thielen, good team. Yeah. I want to shop Kittle. Don't trust him in playoffs. Love your thought process. I would do the exact same thing. But yeah. At that point, not must sell, but I would for sure put feelers out there.
I'm with
to
it.
get someone for sure safe. Like, don't even put. I wouldn't do it for like who's someone. I mean, I wouldn't trust starting someone like Taysom Hill in my tight end spot.
No,
Agreed.
Also, if I were to upgrade a wide receiver, would Davante Adams be someone I would want to trade for? I think so.
Yeah.
Like at some point, they have to get him the ball. Yeah. It's been sad. Like I really don't like it, but he's open. That's the thing. He's open. So
don't let this Raiders team fool you. Davante Adams is still a top 4 receiver in the NFL right now.
Yeah. At some point, Water's going to find its level. Is he going to be a wide receiver 1? I don't know, but I think his floor is wide receiver 2 rest of the way.
Agreed.
Stu's got his nuggies, so he's locked in. I love it, except for you said earlier, you're fucking watching NBA. What are you doing? Gibbs is the starter, but if I traded Gibbs for Ayuk, I would pivot to Jerome Ford.
Hate it.
I mean, you said the worst thing to me that you could. You needed a better wide receiver 3. I would trade Jerome Ford and Robinson or Ford for just a upgrade at wide receiver 3. That's what I would do.
Yep.
Davante's overthrown so badly. I mean, overthrown, underthrown, not thrown at. You name it. Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. Sucks. Not about it. Let's get back to quarterbacks here a little bit. For whatever it's worth, Brock Purdy at 7, CJ Stroud at 8, Kyler Murray at 10, Josh Dobbs at 13. Just going through some notable people. I have Deshaun Watson at 18. Not trusting it. Don't love the matchup. And DeVito is 28. My last ranked starting quarterback at the moment. Any of those guys?
Yeah,
they have named DeVito as the starter for whatever that's worth too.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
What can we expect out of Josh Dobbs this week?
I don't think the passing is going to be insane, but like I think the wide receiver 2 and tight end can both get it against the Saints. So I would assume a lot of TJ Hawkinson, and Josh Dobbs has rushed for like 40 plus yards and well over half his games. So
if
you can trust him, man.
If you have a Mahomes or a Hurts or a Tua, sure. I think if worse comes, like you can get worse than Dobbs this week.
I think he's the ultimate bye week fill in the rest of the way. I think he's a quarterback 2 the rest of the way. So if you're in a 2 quarterback league, if you are really struggling, like he's a guy you can play the matchups with, I think. And he's still very unowned. So I think go ahead.
Yep.
He's going to get better too. Like he played pretty well for Arizona. And then now he gets a better offensive system. He has better weapons, better everything. So it should be better. Obviously. I also just learned right now that Tyson Bagent is his name for the Bears. I've been calling him Tyler, I think.
Yeah. So when I wrote up my Survivor article against the Bears, I said Tyler, and I had to go back and change it after I submitted it to Tyson.
I'm not sure if I would have caught it. He looks like a Tyler. He's not Tyson.
No.
I feel like this is wrong. Wow. Okay. For people who don't know, he's pretty much starting tomorrow night, by the way. Fields is listed as doubtful, I believe. I'm not sure if it's official. Trev Badgett, kind of, I guess. Comparing to the consensus here, I have Bryce Young at 20, which is 3 spots higher. I like the matchup there tomorrow night against the Bears. I have Mac Jones at 21, which is 4 higher. And then I have Tyson Badgett at 22,
Tyler.
which is 6 higher. Tyler. Yeah, I'm not going to move off that. It is Tyler. I have Geno Smith at 14, which is 3 lower. People are liking Geno. Interesting. I have Will Levis at 23, which is 6 lower. People love them some Will Levis. And then I have Jordan Love at 25, which is 3 lower. Call it bias, call it logic. I don't know. But do any of those names jump out to you?
I don't know. Tune in for a show after with Lombardi Sweep, but I think Jordan Love struggles this week.
Hot take.
Yeah. I think the fish is going to swim. That's true.
I'm interested in Levis this week. He played better than I thought he would against Pittsburgh. Granted, at the same time, I thought he got built out a lot, especially on the last drive. Granted, that didn't get him a lot of points, but I thought he played better than I thought. He hung in there. He didn't really have a lot going for him in terms of this team. I think Skoronski went out too. They're missing a couple offensive linemen. I like what I saw. So it'll be interesting to see if he can repeat success and if it can turn into more fantasy production, because he didn't have a whole lot of production this past week.
I mean, Luke, you talked about that Buccaneers defense for possibly being a product of the CJ Stroud performance a little bit. He plays that same defense. So, like, you think DeAndre Hopkins can get it a little bit? Probably.
Yeah, I would imagine Hopkins is at least Hopkins has to get at least 10 targets in this game.
You should.
I think if you're throwing the ball 10 times to DeAndre Hopkins, I think good things happen.
Yeah, it's certainly easier to throw it against Tampa than run it. They'll still run it, obviously. They got Derrick Henry, but, is what it is. Forget about Dylan Brooks. Damn right, Stu. Jared asked, pick 2, PPR, Debo, who practiced in full today, T. Higgins, Dotson, or Nico Collins. I might be going the first 2, Debo and Higgins. I think. Trevor?
I probably would too. I might substitute Dotson for Higgins, but obviously if Chase is out, we know what's happening.
Dylan Brooks.
That's a disgusting jersey.
I'm with Debo and Higgins.
It is a bad one.
This is a
For all
sweet
the,
what are you talking about?
It's Dylan Brooks, man.
I don't buy the Dylan Brooks. I don't know. I just don't like that Oregon jersey.
Dude, he was awesome in college. I
agree. He wore a lot better jerseys than that most of the time, too.
Luke, you're going to have to send me the links to where you get these jerseys.
I don't know if they exist anymore, those links. I think they were banned by the government.
Yeah, probably. Getting some $5 jerseys. Dobbs over under 30.5. I mean, fucking pound the over. Ralph, Kittle, and JSN for Andrews. Thoughts?
Love it.
Yeah.
I'd probably do it. I'm still not a huge Andrews guy, but
I like it more than Kittle and JSN.
Yeah, I mean, JSN has certainly been better when, obviously, they go 11 personnel a little bit for Seattle, and he's on the field.
Lockett always turns it on at the end of the year, too.
I think you can get more, though. Like, regardless of if I like Andrews more, I think you can get more.
Sure.
Stroud or T-Law? Stroud.
Jacksonville obviously wants to run the ball, and they play San Francisco this week, so good luck with T-Law.
Well, nothing over the top's going to be there either, because that's what San Francisco takes away. And yeah, I don't love it. I don't love it.
I'm still a T-Law guy, but I think a lot of people understood, kind of got blindsided by what Doug Peterson wants to do this year. Everyone thought T-Law is coming in for a 4,000-yard, 50 touchdown season, and that just is not going to happen.
No, and yeah, I'm lower than you are on him. I think I always have been, but he's not like throwing it around the field. He's just, if the check down's open, he's going to throw the check down and live to see another down, which is smart. I mean, that's winning football. It's just not translating to fantasy as much. Running backs here. This is half PPR scoring because that's what Fantasy Pros grades me on. Number 1 running back, I have Christian McCaffrey against that Jaguars team that now sports Jason Pierre-Paul on defense. Ooh. They just signed him like 30 minutes ago.
Ooh.
Austin Eckler's 2 versus the Lions. Breece Hall 3 at the Raiders on Sunday Night Football. Travis Etienne 4 versus the Niners. And I'm going Tony Pollard 5 versus the Giants. I feel like this is the Tony Pollard game.
It has to be.
Yeah, I say it hesitantly, but I feel like it is. Luke, what do you think of those running backs?
I love Breece Hall. Like, if the Jets would have gave Breece Hall the ball more on Sunday night, I think that's at least a one-score game. Like, he looked awesome in that game. The Chargers defense isn't – like, they're fine against the run, but they're definitely explosible. The Jets, for whatever – they got down early because of that punt return. I think if the Jets can at least, not give up a punt return, Breece Hall should see, at least 20 to 25 touches this game. And with how good of a player he is, I would imagine that translates to a bunch of fantasy points.
Yeah, I love Tony Pollard. I shouldn't, but like this past week against the Eagles, he finished as running back 28, which isn't great, but he saw 5 targets and he should have had a touchdown. They called it back for an illegal formation for a guy not reporting, which I don't really understand why that's a thing, that you have to go tell the ref. Beats me. But beside the point, I mean, if he gets a touchdown there, that changes everything. And I know we can play the shoulda, coulda, woulda game, but this isn't like, if somebody missed a tackle or if he didn't, tear a leg or something. It's like, oh, if a guy reported, they're fine. So I like Tony Pollard. I mean, they got to run the ball, right? It's the Giants. They're going to be up like 35-0 in the first quarter. So,
yeah, it should be a get-right game for the running game of Dallas. Even Mike McCarthy will commit to the running game if they get up by enough. And if they're going up against DeVito, which, they're saying they are, then, it should be a blowout. If it's not, it's embarrassing for them.
Well, and I mean, he was running back 5 in week 1 against the Giants, and the Giants had a better team. That was still a blowout, so.
That's true. Other notable running backs, I have Bijan at 12. I have Dave Montgomery coming back. He's going to play this week. I have him at 13. Kenneth Walker, I might be a little lower on. We'll see in a little bit, but I have him at 15. He's in that territory now where he's not necessarily an automatic start. Last week, I think his snaps were a little bit more limited due to game flow. He's not 100% healthy, but if it was closer, he would have played more. Aaron Jones played 66% of the snaps roughly last week. I have him at 18 against the Steelers. Gus Edwards, 24. He is still balling for the Ravens. James Conner, I think, does come back this week. We'll see. Check practice reports and stuff. But I have him at 27 currently. He may rise a little bit more as the week goes along, but I do think he comes back. Keaton Mitchell, I guess, for whatever it's worth. I have him at 47, which is higher than I ranked him last week, I suppose. But yeah, if you picked him up, again, if you're going to argue with me about him, I'm going to tell you to start him. But if you are nice to me and us, don't start Keaton Mitchell. Well, it's not gonna work.
I mean, Gus Edwards is still a guy, right? It feels like they just wanted to get Keaton Mitchell some run last week.
Yeah, I love him. I talked about him a month ago. He's on my franchise team for our franchise. I love Keaton Mitchell. He's so good. But what's his role? He's not the short yardage guy. He's not the 2-minute guy. He's not the third down guy. So what is he? He's the third in a 3-man committee in 4th in running attempts after Lamar Jackson. So it's
he's like the 7th option in the offense.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know. People can, if he continues to run for 50-yard touchdowns, he's going to be awesome. Yep. But I'm just not going to predict that. And maybe that's shame on me, but I'm not going to do that. Let's read questions here and then we'll compare to the consensus. Should I still start Christian Kirk? I think this is a decent Christian Kirk game. Zay Jones comes back this week, most likely, which cuts into him a little bit. But I hate this game for Kelvin Ridley. He's the over-the-top guy. Don't like that. I think it's going to be a lot of underneath stuff, which should theoretically mean good things for Christian Kirk.
Yep.
You guys agree?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yep.
Stroud versus Cincy or Murray versus Atlanta. I think I have Kyler higher.
I think you're right. I think you go with Kyler.
Ooh, I have Stroud at 8, Kyler at 10. But my gut says Kyler Murray. So I think I'm going to recommend that and make a change to the rankings.
You know that Kyler's running at least 10 times this game.
Yeah, I think when I was doing ranking, like literally in my mind, I'm like, oh, kind of a homecoming game for CJ Stroud. Fire him up back in Ohio. But Cincinnati's defense is playing damn well too.
I've seen a lot of people try to claim, Ohio State fans try to claim Joe Burrow as their own. That's wrong, right?
Yes, for sure. It's like Alabama fans claiming Jalen Hurts.
Well, I can at least see that.
No.
I understand it. But did Joe Burrow ever play for Ohio State?
Not really.
No.
That's my point.
No. I mean, that's for sure worse. I think if you transfer out of there, you lost them.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I think the answer is CJ Stroud, if nothing else, because Call of Duty is released today, and I don't trust Kyler Murray with Call of Duty.
Yeah, don't win games on Wednesdays. Talking Sundays. He'll be okay. Ralph, what other tight end that is trustworthy that can shot for Kittle and JSN? That's fair. I think you can get Hawkinson.
How many more would you rather have than Andrews? Hawkinson and Kittle, right? Could you get a Laporta out of that?
I think Kittle is such a big name and he's had such good performances. And I assume if you look at the season long rankings, he's still way up there.
Yeah.
I think you can get anybody not named Travis Kelce personally.
I agree.
For sure, there's nobody that is like you're going to get shamed or whatever and say you're doing an unfair trade. I don't think there's any unfair trades unless it's Travis Kelce. So I would go for Hawkinson. I think he's the tight end 2 the rest of the way.
Agreed.
Stoof was freaking out when you left. Luke.
I appreciate it, Stoof.
Yeah. He had quite the moment, it looks like. Go Bills has a question. 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, and a flex in PPR. ETN, Walker, Kamara, Saquon, Olave, Lamb, Godwin, Hopkins, Hollywood. Lots of guys. So I think ETN's a lock.
Yep. I think Ken Walker too.
Oh, not for me.
Really?
Yeah, I already said that earlier. Like, I think he's 15 in my rankings. He's for sure last out of all the running backs for me.
Okay.
I think I'm going ETN, Kamara, Lamb, Hopkins. I want to say Saquon just because the workload's going to be insane.
I'm going ETN.
I'll go Saquon.
Yeah, I'm going ETN, Walker, Saquon, Lamb, Hopkins.
I'll go ETN, Kamara, Saquon, Lamb, and Hopkins.
Trade for McBride. Yeah, if you can do it. I would say the caveat is not Austin Eckler. Zach Ertz comes back in a couple weeks and he's going to play. So I'm not giving up a ton for McBride. I think McBride should hopefully keep that starting role, but it's going to be split. So I don't think he's going to be start worthy the rest of the way. Freddie, would you trade Saquon, Mostert, and Evans for Bijan and Kupp? Yes.
Yep.
Worried about Mostert with H-Chain coming back. Good worry. Saquon has a rough playoff schedule. I mean, he might not be healthy by then. I also have JT, Brees, Tyreek, St. Brown, and Hopkins. So, yeah, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Ben Gwynn. 3 and 6, 10 PPR. Should I trade Olave and Jacobs for Eckler? Running backs are Taylor, Aaron Jones, Jacobs, Pollard. Wide receivers are Olave, Chase, T, Waddle, Rice, Godwin. So, I mean, essentially in must-win mode, have to win out. And I don't think your running backs are your biggest issue. I would say your wide receivers are. Especially if Chase is out this week, which there's a chance. I don't know. Would you guys do this trade?
So if he did this trade, his running backs would be JT, Eckler, and Pollard. Yeah, I would do it.
And Aaron Jones.
Yep. Yeah, I would do it. I don't think you lose much at receiver.
I would agree. I can't buy Olave for the life of me. I think we need to stop acting like he's a wide receiver one week in, week out. Because unfortunately, people still think that, which is wild to me. But I can't trust him at all. Even wide receiver two, I'm not super stoked that he's there.
I don't love this trade, but it's just because I don't think you get any better. I would do it if you're immediately trading away Aaron Jones or Pollard in a trade to upgrade your wide receivers, because that's the issue. It's not your running backs, in my opinion. I think rest of the way you can start Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, Jacobs, and Pollard and be good, but yeah, your wide receivers. You need somebody other than Chase that's an automatic start for you, and you don't have that yet. So make the trade if you want. I think it's a good trade in a vacuum, but you can't be done. The moves have to keep coming.
So speaking of moves, I got a question for you guys that one of my buddies just sent me, and it's a 3-team trade.
Oh,
love it.
So the first team sends out Hurts, Mike Evans, Deontay Johnson, and Kelsey.
Wow. Okay.
And gets Joe Burrow, Diggs, and Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Second team sends out Dak and Diggs and gets Hurts, Mike Evans, and Deontay. And the third team gives out Burrow and JJ and gets Dak and Kelsey.
I like the first team's return the most.
For sure. Yeah, I think I would order it. The teams you read, like the order you read, I think the first team's return is the best. Second team's return is second best.
Yep.
I would say.
100%.
Do 3-team trades ever work? They are so fun to send out, but I swear they never go through.
I don't know that I've ever seen a 3-team trade go through.
On Sleeper, you can. But what, I mean, I don't know. I mean, someone always gets fucked, if that's what you mean. But,
right, of course.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But usually you always have an Andre in a league that, you can, throw in there as a third team.
Right, yeah. Jared asks, PPRM 6-2-1. How's my team? Any changes? Stroud, Fields, Murray, Breece Hall, Mixon, Christian McCaffrey, Gibson, Elijah Mitchell, Nico Collins, Higgins, Debo, Dotson, Kincaid, Pitts, Steelers defense, Hopkins. So depends on how many teams.
This feels like a team that you could move Kyler Murray for an upgraded receiver for.
For sure. And that's, obviously receiver is your weakest position.
Also, at this point, I don't see a reason to have Kincaid and Kyle Pitts. I just don't.
I like Kincaid going forward, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't is there a week when you're starting Pitts over Kincaid? I don't.
When Dawson Knox comes back.
Trevor, I understand your point. Like I would try to move Murray and Pitts.
How much longer is Dawson Knox out?
Maybe a month. I bet he's back in the fantasy playoffs. And Kincaid's buys week 13. Yeah. Definitely. I think you should have two, obviously. I think Kyle Pitts is going to get better. So, I don't. If you're trading Kyle Pitts right now, there's no way you're getting much back. I don't think. So I don't see a reason to trade him. I think for sure, like Luke said, I think packaging Murray and Nico, Murray, and even Debo, Murray, and Dotson, something like that to upgrade receiver is probably the way I would go. But obviously, you got a good record. You got a good team. Running backs are deep, which I feel like is the most important thing this season. Good to go. Kincaid greater than Kelsey. Jared said kink AIDS. He. That is quite the spell check there.
I like when people say he instead of ha-ha.
It's very cute of Stoof to say that.
Makes me giggle.
Running backs compared to the consensus quickly. I have James Conner at 27. Everyone else is ranking him as not playing. I have Khalil Herbert tomorrow night at 33. That's 13 spots higher. That's about it there. I have Aaron Jones at 18. That's 5 lower. James Cook at 25. That's 5 lower. Miles Sanders at 41, that's 4 lower. Roshan Johnson at 44, that's 4 lower. And Keaton Mitchell at 47, which is 6 spots lower than the consensus. People are also ranking Leonard Fournette super high. I'm 14 spots lower on him at 69, which is interesting. Any of those stand out?
I still don't think Aaron Jones is running back one in Green Bay.
I think the writing's on the wall. We have to do it. And if that means Aaron Jones gets hurt and then he gets cut in the offseason, I think that's what they're willing to do. Like, for better or for worse, and it's certainly for worse for the future, I think they're going to give Aaron Jones the ball a fair amount now, which clearly results in good things because he's amazing. So I think he's the RB1. I think you can trust last week, personally. Okay. While his health is fine. How long is that going to be? Who knows? Freddie, who's more valuable rest of season, Breece or Saquon? I think I'd go Breece Hall.
I think so too, right?
I think it's close, but I think so.
It's really weird to say that. I like the Jets quarterback situation a little bit more than the Giants quarterback situation.
I mean, yeah, for sure. Start 3, Adams, Ayuk, Kirk, Thielen, Deontay, Amari. Wow. I'm starting Ayuk. I'm starting
Adams.
Yeah. I think I'm going Adams, Ayuk, Deontay Johnson. I trust him against the Packers.
What does Amari Cooper have this week?
Ravens.
Oh, yeah. I like Deontay Johnson against the Packers simply because the Packers went from, and I'll bring this up on the next show, but the Packers somehow went from Jair Alexander, Rasul Douglas, and Eric Stokes to now Ballantyne and Valentine. So I love Deontay Johnson this week.
And Jair's out today. Yeah. He didn't practice today. So it might be Ballantyne, and me. Like, right. I don't know. It could be anybody.
Watch out. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Isaiah McDuffie in the slot.
I wrote him down specifically to talk about. He's balling.
Yeah, he played well.
Thank you, guys. I'm going Thielen over Adams.
Thielen half PPR. Steven half PPR. I think I said Thielen. Pick one. Edwards, Madison, or Pickens. I'm going Madison.
Madison.
Yep. I would pick Gus if he didn't play the Browns.
Agreed. War Eagle, Saints, Raiders, or Colts defense this week. Let me look at my rankings.
I'd probably go Raiders.
I'm going the Raiders just because you get a Monday night team that you automatically get 10 points on.
I have Saints at 5, Raiders at 6, and Colts at 19. So I have Saints slightly above Raiders, but if you, like Luke said, it's about fun. I don't think they're that much different. So if you get a guy in, a defense in prime time.
Yeah, I don't know. You're guaranteed 10 points you're guaranteed 10 points no matter what your matchup is going into Monday Night Football to start.
Start 2, Walker, Jones, Montgomery. According to my rankings, currently it would be Montgomery and Walker.
I'm with it.
I agree.
Could be convinced of Jones later in the week, but we'll see. Christian, 12-man PPR. Trade away Pollard and Adams for Kyler Murray, St. Brown, and Taysom Hill. I have A-Chain, Mostert, Kamara, Metcalf, Evans, Godwin, McBride at tight end, and Goff at quarterback.
So you're starting Goff. You're starting Goff, Kamara. So you're in desperate need of a running back this week.
Right.
I don't think I'm doing this or a second trade. And I think the second trade is better, but I don't think I'm doing either.
I want to keep Pollard this week.
Second trade would be Pollard and Godwin for Allen, Hill, and Debo. No. Like, I'm not trading for Taysom Hill. No need.
Debo you should be buying low on, not high.
I'm not sure if you're buying high or low. I just don't know.
I don't think I want Debo.
I don't. He's in the same exact class as Kittle for me. Like, I think they finished the end of the season pretty well. I think they're both tremendous players. I just think they're inconsistent.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing it.
Christian, I don't want to, like, I agree with Trevor. I don't think I want to do either of those trades. You need Pollard this week.
Yeah. War Eagle, should I still have Chase in my lineup? I mean, if he's active, yeah.
Yeah, of course you have to play him if he's in.
Yeah, if he's, regardless, if it's, he's limited in practice all week, you start him. Doesn't matter. But yeah, we'll see if he plays or not. I don't know. I don't know if it's that serious. I think he's going to play, but
I've become a very big Jamar Chase fan this year.
Yeah, he's whatever for me. He plays for the Bengals.
He's very fun.
Wide receivers here quickly. Let me look at the Jamar Chase notes really quick just to see if there's anything updated. No, just that he didn't practice. Okay. Number 1, I have Diggs versus the Broncos. CeeDee Lamb 2 versus the Giants. Amon-Ra 3 versus the Chargers. Currently, I have Jamar Chase 4 versus the Texans. And Keenan Allen 5 versus the Lions. If Chase doesn't go, Mike Evans would be in my top 5, I think. I think I'm keeping T. Higgins where he is at 7 regardless. But what do you think of those 5, Trevor?
I like him. Chase scares me a little bit. I think he's a great player, but I think I look at those 5 and I think the other 4 are a little more sure things than Chase. He's playing Houston. He should have a good matchup, but I don't know. I feel like they've gotten away from him a lot. And I know a lot of it early was Joe Burrow's health and the offensive line, what so be it. But I don't know. I know he got hurt in the Bills game, but something just didn't sit right with me. I don't think they targeted him nearly as much as they should have. And unlike with Diggs and some of the other guys, it seems like at times they just don't force feed him the ball, which is what I think you have to do with some of your best receivers.
Trevor, go ahead, Zach.
Okay, I think T. Higgins is better than Jamar Chase every day of the week.
No.
I don't think it's close.
I'm the other side. I don't think it's close for Jamar Chase.
I mean, Jamar Chase is still the same player as I talked about his rookie. Like, he's fine. Like, if you take the top off, he's not going to be that effective underneath. Like, he is what he is. And he's very good at what he does, but given his role, there's going to be good weeks, there's going to be bad weeks. That's just Jamar Chase's role. Deshaun Watson, there's bad weeks for Deshaun Watson. There's bad weeks for Mike Evans in his prime, people like that. It's just, he's just not as polished as some of these other top end receivers. He's not as skilled as some of these other top end receivers. Not to say he's bad. He's not bad. T. Higgins just can do more. So, and Tyler Boyd can do more than Jamar Chase, to be honest. And that's not me saying Tyler Boyd's a better receiver. I just think he can do more.
Yeah. Trevor, to your point, too, I think there was a big emphasis that Cincinnati wanted to get Joe Mixon and the tight ends going right away. And, of course, that eats into Jamar Chase. And those Jamar Chase targets, you're right, both of you are right, it went to T. Higgins. So, yeah, I understand where both of you guys are coming from there.
But, I mean, this week, I'm not afraid of the Texans defense.
No, God, no.
Not. So, yeah. 12-man asks Willie, Tua, Mostert, Saquon, Thielen, Garrett Wilson, Njoku, Khalil Herbert, Foreman, and Tank Dell. Should I trade Diggs for Jacobs? Okay, so you also have Diggs. Yeah, I don't. You can get more. I wouldn't do it straight up, but I don't know. I think there's multiple changes that need to happen, I guess.
Yeah. I don't trust Garrett Wilson going forward at all. I don't think you guys do either.
No, you for sure can't start 2 Bears running backs going forward.
Right. And I don't I understand the Thielen, but what is Thielen's ceiling to me is 60 yards and a touchdown. And I don't know if that's going to win you a championship,
He's also he's slowing down a little bit right now. They're trying to get their younger receivers more involved, unfortunately.
And it's a thing, too, with Bryce Young. It's his first look, and if it's not there, he runs.
Yeah. I think you can move Diggs. I think that's fine. I just think they're not equals. Like Josh Jacobs, I would prefer to have Josh Jacobs and Mostert, obviously, and over Saquon as well the rest of the way. But Yeah, I don't think that's something you need to do. You need to get more players back.
Yeah, this is not a necessity for you.
Yeah. Flappo got nuked by the buys. Need 2 running backs: Foreman, Herbert, Hubbard, Charbonnet, or Spears. I'm going Hubbard for sure.
Yep. Talk me out of Spears. He's getting more work than not more work, but more field time than Derrick Henry these last couple games.
He's still relatively case by he's a specialty guy still. I'm going Foreman. I'm going Foreman until he doesn't get the touches.
Okay, I'm with it.
Yeah,
I think Herbert can for sure jump him, but I don't know if it's going to be this week or not.
I'm with it.
Jamar Slander. Yeah. Whoops.
No Jamar Slander here.
I mean, I kind of did.
No, you're good.
Wish Me Luck just sent a request for Laporta for Kittle and JSN. He has Debo, so I don't know if it's less appealing. Maybe.
I like it.
I don't know if you all recall my team. I was offered Diggs, Swift, and Andrews for Kelsey and McCaffrey. I'm leaning towards no because I'll be left with 5 startable receivers and a downgrade at running back and tight end. Want another opinion? You would be.
I don't like that trade.
I was offered Diggs, Swift, and no, don't do that trade.
You cannot trade someone who scored a touchdown in 18 straight games.
No, I mean they're both number 1 at their position.
Right.
Regardless of the bad weeks Kelsey's recently had, I'm not panicking, Peter, who would you flex? McBride, Edwards, or Connor? Tight ends are PPR. Running backs are half PPR. If James Conner is active, I think I'm going to go him.
Yep.
Otherwise, Edwards.
Are you worried about them limiting his workload, though?
No. Not really.
If Connor's active, where are you ranking him among your running backs?
I think that even if Connor's active, I think the threat of Kyler Murray opens up so much for James Conner.
And I mean, it's James Conner. It's not like, oh, we got to save him. Oh, Murray's going to get hurt. Oh, we need to get Keontae Ingram the ball. There isn't any of that.
They're not saving him. They're 1-8.
Are you starting him at the flex over a Deontay or an Amari Cooper?
Over Amari Cooper for sure.
Not over
Probably
Deontay.
Not. Yeah, assuming they're both PPR or whatever. I'm not doing it over Deontay. But he'd be in the 20 range for me, assuming he's active and good to go. Gus Edwards 24. He'd be slightly ahead, I think. It's just touchdown upside there. Do I panic on Kupp or hope Stafford's back after the bye? I mean, I don't think Stafford's going to be back after signing Carson Wentz, but I'm not panicking on Kupp. Carson Wentz is more than serviceable, and he's certainly an upgrade from Rippon. Holy fuck, that guy sucks.
Yeah, the Rams scored 3 points last week, and Kupp had 2 catches. Kupp needs to have 15 targets a game.
Yeah. So, panic button, no. Am I expecting him to be a top-end wide receiver 1 again? No.
Would you trade Kupp?
Would I trade away?
Yeah.
He's at his lowest.
Yeah, if you get top-end wide receiver 1 value, I suppose, but...
Yeah, Trevor, I agree he's at his lowest right now, but there's not many more chances to trade this year.
Right. I'm not panic selling, though, so I just don't think you'd get the value back. I value him similarly to Justin Jefferson the rest of the way, I think.
Okay.
They're both the low-end wide receiver 1 for me, I think.
Okay.
I think I'd prefer Jefferson, but yeah. Yeah. I mean, depends on what you can get. Depends on what your record is, but I'm not panicking, I should say. Any other running back you want to talk about that we didn't talk about?
We're on wide receivers, aren't we?
Are we? I don't think so. Oh yeah, we are. I just flipped back to the running backs. Any wide receiver you want to talk about?
Did we do higher and lower? I'm sorry.
No, not yet.
Let's do it.
Okay. I'm 5 higher on Garrett Wilson at 11. That's interesting. I'm 4 higher on Deontay Johnson at 15. I'm 7 higher on Marquise Brown at 19. I'm 5 higher on George Pickens at 27. I'm 17 higher on Drake London at 30. 7 higher on JSN at 31. 4 higher on Quentin Johnston at 42. That's about it. I'm 8 lower on Chris Olave at 16. So he's ranked as a top 10 guy this week. I am 5 lower on Pittman at 17, 4 lower on Kirk at 24, 5 lower on Calvin Ridley at 32, 5 lower on Cortland Sutton at 35, 6 lower on Zay Flowers at 37, 4 lower on Jacoby Myers at 39, 5 lower on Romeo Dobbs at 45.
Yep.
And everyone else is around there. I'm 5 lower on Jameson Williams at 68.
Don't start.
I'm done with him, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a huge Jameson Williams guy, and I'm done. I agree 100%.
I think this is a very, very, very pivotal week.
Yeah.
They come off their bye. If he's not involved, and if Donovan Peoples-Jones is catching balls, done.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I traded him away in our Dynasty Owner League, essentially for Jake Ferguson. I'm so fucking happy.
Yeah. Yeah, I traded him away for Chris Godwin, and I'm very happy about it.
Yeah. I love him. He's just not used. It's insane.
Right.
And I'm not pitching that he should be. I'm not going to do that, but he's just not used. And they go and trade for another receiver, which is, I feel like that says something about him, but maybe not. Jackson could make a trade for Komet or Laporta, as someone is interested in my receivers in his receivers. Should I be considering selling Kelsey in those circumstances?
I don't think so.
Don't trust them in the playoffs. I'm keeping Kelsey.
It's really hard to sell Kelsey.
Yeah.
I get it, Jackson. You want to make a move, and I get it, but listen, you got to think Kelsey. Do you want to move Kelsey and have him score 3 touchdowns on you in the playoffs? Because that'll happen.
Yeah. Looking at your receivers, there isn't any of your. If you can trade somehow DeMario Douglas and McBride for Komet, I think I would do that. I think that's fine. Yeah. Probably just need to leave your team alone. But if you can,
I get it.
I'm fine selling high on McBride right now with the thought that Zach Ertz is likely coming back and hurting him.
I'm with it.
Any other receivers then to talk about?
No, but Jackson, if you do end up making a trade, come back next week and let us know what you did.
Please do. Tight ends here. I have Sam Laporta as my number 1 tight end at the Chargers. And it kind of says more about what I think about the tight end matchups this week, but is what it is. I have Mark Andrews 2 versus the Browns. He has killed the Browns historically.
Yep.
TJ Hawkinson 3 versus the Saints. Dalton Kincaid 4 versus the Broncos. And George Kittle 5 at the Jags. I feel like it's a George Kittle week, but we shall see.
Tell me who you have at 6.
Dalton Schultz.
Okay, I think I like Kittle more than Schultz. I agree. I'm with it.
It's a weird week. Yeah. Then for whatever it's worth, top 10 is Laporta, Andrews, Hawkinson, Kincaid, Kittle, Schultz, Jake Ferguson, Cole Kmet, Evan Engram, Taysom Hill.
Ooh. We're open for a touchdown.
I'm not going to lie. I really wanted to. I can't do it, but it would have been really fun to start Taysom Hill at the quarterback this week.
I'm debating about signing him in our Dynasty Owner League.
Trevor, make the case for Taysom Hill being a top 5 tight end this week.
I can't.
You're right. I'm with you.
Does he score a touchdown? I mean, that's it. I mean, I feel like there's so many things they could do with him, and they just don't use him except for weird touchdown plays.
Well, they binged our old shows. the Saints did, because all I've been saying is Taysom Hill needs to be the red zone quarterback. That's all his role should be. And that's what they've been doing the last few weeks. He threw a touchdown. He's running the ball. He's doing stuff in the red zone because, I mean, it adds so much to your red zone offense because you get an extra blocker if he's running. He can move the entire defense with his legs if he's extending play. There's just so many things you can do. It makes so much sense, especially when your quarterback's Derek Carr. Like, I would for sure, it's not necessarily a huge downgrade at throwing the ball either.
No,
so
not at all.
That's the case for Taysom Hill. The case is, can the Saints move the ball against the Vikings defense? I think yes.
Probably.
So if they get 5 trips to the red zone, does Taysom Hill maybe get 1 chance at a touchdown?
Yes.
I'm not saying he scores or not, but if he gets 1 chance at it, then maybe he extends that streak. I don't know. But he's not getting used as the tight end. No one should believe he's a tight end. He's not a tight end. But hey, like, he might score a touchdown. But for whatever it's worth, like, I wrote the tight end streamers article today. I also wrote up a Saints tight end. I didn't write up Taysom Hill. I like Juwan Johnson this week.
Time. I texted you guys this morning. It's time.
Yeah. I mean, he was used last week, came back from injury 2 weeks ago, was eased in last week. He played a full helping, 5 catches and a touchdown. Vikings, you can attack, obviously, with the tight end. Vikings have been extremely good at stopping the run.
Yep.
And so you can throw against them. And I think Juwan Johnson's going to get some targets. Will he get a touchdown? Maybe. Like, he has as good of a chance this week as any other week, and as good of a chance as any other tight end, I think.
Yeah.
Minus maybe Mark Andrews.
Shout out to everyone who's been watching since day one, but I'm putting a guarantee on the Juwan Johnson scores this week for all those same reasons, Zach.
Yeah, I like it. He's virtually unowned. Could we see another, repeat to the end of last season? I'm not necessarily going to go that far, but
don't even speak that into existence.
Like, if you're panicking at tight end, if you had Dallas Goedert go down, why not go and take a look at Juwan Johnson? For whatever it's worth, I am ranked above Gerald Everett. That will probably be the case for the rest of the year.
Yes.
I have him ranked right alongside like a Luke Musgrave, Cade Otton, Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry. He's going to be in that range the entire year, I think.
Yes. 100% agree.
Yeah.
Would you do Juwan Johnson over Irv Smith this week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I have Irv Smith at 27, Juwan Johnson currently at 19.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
Mm-hmm. And one of them was a featured pickup in a lot of people's articles, and the other one's Juwan Johnson. So
crazy.
Yeah. He is like the blind spot in fantasy football for some reason. Like, no one wants to acknowledge him, and I guess we'll accept it. I don't know. I also like Tyler Conklin. I don't think he has a tremendous upside or anything, but he's so steady. I am ranked as tight end 21. He has been a top 20 tight end, and again, setting the bar relatively low, I suppose, but is what it is. He's been a top 20 tight end in, I'll do PPR. I'll do half PPR. It makes my case better. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. That's pretty solid. He had 6 targets last week. He's had 5+ targets in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. And that's without scoring a touchdown. So targets, yards are there. If somehow he scores a touchdown, it's just the cherry on top. If you're panicking at tight end, you have Dallas Goedert hurt, you have Travis Kelce on bye. You just need to get through to next week. I don't think Tyler Conklin's going to lose you a week.
Yep.
And that's all you really need at this point.
Yep.
I wrote up.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Do we still want to do? I just have a question about a receiver that just came to mind.
I'll just say for the tight end streamers I wrote up today, I wrote up Logan Thomas. He continues to be owned in under 60% of ESPN leagues. So check your league if he's out there. He's getting used a bunch. Obviously a good passing matchup. I wrote up Juwan Johnson, and then I wrote up Hunter Henry. I think Hunter Henry, let's just take a really quick trip through the season. He started out super hot, and then he completely disappeared. And it's not a 1-to-1 position comparison, but I feel like those targets just shifted to Kendrick Bourne.
Yep.
And then Kendrick Bourne got hurt, and now it's back to him. So I think he's getting targets again. He's excited to go play in Germany. So for whatever it's worth, a lot of players aren't, and he's excited to be there. That's a good thing. And the Colts don't defend tight ends well at all. So I think this could be another solid Hunter Henry week. Currently ranked 15. That's not overly optimistic, but certainly top 12 potential. Someone who should still be owned despite, completely, just not being there for most of the season.
Yep, agreed.
Who's your receiver?
Does Khalil Shakur do anything to either of you guys?
Yeah. Like the Bills are able to play their offense again.
Right.
Before they were just they had Dawson Knox at tight end, and then they had Kincaid play in the slot. They had him play as a secondary tight end. They had him moving in all of these positions that didn't really fit him. Now he gets to shift back to traditional tight end where he's a mismatch, and they've been able to run 3 wide. And Shakir's been in there. He's running essentially that Cole Beasley role that we've seen be a PPR monster and move the chains.
Yeah.
And we've all loved him. So like talent is there. So yeah, I think it's relatively safe as long as Kincaid is the sole tight end.
I agree. With Kincaid like exposed in the middle, Shakur is just wide open on drag routes and flat routes, and he takes those for like 7 to 10 yards every time he catches the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's part of the reason why Gabe Davis has been non-existent. It's just because Shakir is wide ass open.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason, and he'll still do it, but there's no reason for Josh Allen to force it down the field in precarious situations when Shakir is wide open.
Right.
So he'll pepper him with some targets, and then he'll throw the pick after, which let Josh Allen do his stuff.
Well, he'll complain about a pass interference first and then throw a pick.
Bingo. Traded Swift and Waddle for Pacheco and Kupp earlier. How do you feel about it? That's an interesting trade. So
I think Swift is probably a little bit better than Pacheco, right? And I think Kupp's a little bit better than Waddle. So I don't want to call this a wash, but I think it's, I don't know how much better you got.
That's fair. I mean, what I will say is I think there's 3 players who are playing at their level, and there's 1 player playing below his level. And the one below is Kupp. Yeah. So like if there's room for growth in this trade, I think it would be the side he got.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I like it as long as your running backs are fine. Pacheco isn't necessarily a lock and load starter, I wouldn't say. Anything interesting in the tight end report here? I'm 3 higher on Kmet at 8, 3 higher on Conklin at 21. I'm 4 higher on Connor Hayward at 26. I suppose if you're extremely desperate, Connor Hayward's getting targets and he plays the Packers.
Shout out to all the Darnell Washington truthers.
Yeah, he's so good. 3 lower on Gerald Everett at 20, 4 lower on Irv Smith at 27, 3 lower on Gesicki at 30. So nothing too crazy or exciting. Any other tight end you guys feel like you need to talk about?
I don't think so. Maybe this is crazy, but I don't think Gerald Everett needs to be owned.
No.
He doesn't.
He's not valuable unless Parham's out. Yeah. Like it's not. It's every year. People are just so fucking stupid. Oh, Mike Williams went down. Pick up Gerald Everett. Like, why do you think that's going to work? It's so stupid.
It's so like that meme. Everybody else was foolish enough to think it would work for them, but we might be different. No, stop it.
True. And Stoof's also right. Darnell catches every target or all the target.
I wonder how many he's got.
What he's got so far?
How many targets does Darnell Washington have this year?
I gotcha.
I'm gonna guess 6.
I would guess lower than that, to be honest.
Darnell Washington this season?
Yeah.
Yep.
So Zach, you said 6? Or no,
I'll go
Luke
5.
I said 6.
3.
Crazy.
And he's caught 2 of them for 17 yards.
Okay. I feel like I've seen both catches. Maybe that's why he had to have done something else. I don't know.
His snap counts is wild too. His 2 biggest games were 70 and 53%, and then the very next week he went down to 15.
Yeah, he's a blocker.
Yeah.
He's not a receiver, even though that's what everyone feels like he is, but he's a solid blocker. There's just not many fantasy points for that, weirdly enough. Only other thing I'll say is I have Kyle Pitts at 12. I have Jonnu Smith at 16. Both startable. Yeah, I mean, my criticisms of Kyle Pitts are solely on Kyle Pitts. It's not on anybody else at this point. So,
yep,
be better. Catch open passes, get open.
That's the big thing is get open.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, he's wide open. No, he's not.
No. And when he is, like, go get the ball. Like his ball skills are bad. He can't really catch that super well. Can't get open. Routes are bad. I don't know. Like, there's no such thing as a 50-50 ball with Kyle Pitts because any defender has at least a 65 advantage.
I would say it's like 90-10.
Yeah, like he can't. It's insane. I don't get it.
Yep.
I don't get it. It reminds me of Darren Waller, his first year playing tight end.
Yep.
And then he got a little better. And then he hurt his hamstring.
It's still fuck Arthur Smith, though. Fuck that guy.
No, love Arthur Smith.
I like Arthur Smith.
Love him. He's a top 5 coach for me, at least.
I don't know if I have.
He went down my power rankings after he shaved his mustache for sure, though. Looks bad.
The no chin kind of turns me off.
Yeah. Just fucking keep the mustache. Like, I understand you lost. You can't keep, like, I don't know. Too alarming. I don't. He looks too FedEx now.
Yep.
Like, you can get out of that. You're a coach.
But fuck Craig Counsell.
Yeah, fuck Craig Counsell.
Sure. Fair enough. Any other player you want to talk about? Any other thing you want to talk about?
Let's talk about
anything you want to make us mad about.
Let's talk about a kicker. Pick a random kicker. Let's talk about a kicker.
I think Daniel Carlson's a buy low or a pick up and start the rest of the way.
Oh, at first I thought you were talking about the Packers, Carlson, and I was like, have you lost your mind? Okay, yeah.
I don't think kicker should be allowed in fantasy football anymore. Is the hill I'm going to stand on.
Nah, you need kicker.
I like it. I think there's strategy involved.
I don't.
How many points did your kicker lose you last week, Luke?
None. Like, no, I'm not. I'm in a league that doesn't have many. Like, all my leagues. Maybe I'm in 11 leagues and like 3 of them have kickers. Like, is a kicker ever going to win you a week?
Yes,
it has.
Absolutely.
It has, but how often is it going to happen?
More than you would think.
It's lost me weeks. It's lost me weeks.
Yeah.
That adds to my point.
No, that's a strategy thing. If you start the wrong guy.
Like this past week, I lost by 2. I dropped Dicker for McPherson.
I think it's luck. It's luck with kickers.
No, it's not. Play the teams, the kicker for the team that is going to be able to move the ball, but that maybe that offense is shit in the red zone. Maybe the defense is a bend, don't break defense. Like traditionally, forever, you play your kicker against the Bears because they're going to let up a bunch of yards and then they're going to stop you. Play them against the Patriots, same thing. This year, a lot of it's like, hey, fucking play Brandon Aubrey because the Cowboys are going to move the ball, but they can't do dick in the red zone. So like, it is what it is. I like kickers. I hate DST. That's what I hate. I would much rather do like we do in one of our dynasty leagues. Like I'd do individual defense for 3 positions or something. I just don't like the team defense. I think it's stupid. I think it's super stupid when the opposing defense scores a touchdown and your defense goes down for points allowed.
Yeah. Agree with that.
Worse. I'm also a little salty because I dropped the Chargers defense for the Steelers, thinking, Steelers against a rookie quarterback and lost by 2 points.
Yeah, Chargers did their thing. Rashad White versus Michael Pittman Jr. non-PPR. Non-PPR is the kicker here.
And White.
Yeah, I'd go White. Patriots are keeping J.C. Jackson in USA this week. Which they're like, please beat us, please. But I would still go White.
Do you guys have? I guess we're kind of about halfway. A little over halfway through the season. You guys have a Super Bowl prediction that you like?
I mean, I've been wrong the past 2 years, so I'm gonna stick with it. Like, I still think the Ravens are the best team in the league. I'm going to go Ravens over. Ravens over Niners, I guess.
I'm kind of in that, I guess not in that same vein, but in the same division. I'm with Bengals over Eagles yet.
I can't believe I'm doing this. I think there are some big injuries that have yet to happen. I say Dallas gets there. Why not? Fuck it. Make it fun. Make it interesting. Dallas.
Fun for who?
What?
Fun for who?
Fair.
That's a fair point. For everybody, when Skip Bayless loses a Super Bowl, that would be funny.
If the Cowboys make the playoffs, I think that's one of the most fun scenarios, because I'm not saying I want them to win. We'd be rooting so hard for the AFC team. That makes it fun.
Which then, oh my God, can you imagine Packer fans if it was the Cowboys and the Jets? They'd lose their shit.
Go Jets.
That'd be interesting.
I mean, I would easily cheer for the Jets, but
it'd be interesting if it's Cowboys Chiefs, because I feel like Chiefs would somehow be babyface still.
Yeah, which I don't like.
People just hate the Cowboys.
For good reason.
Correct. Yeah. Dylan Brooks RKO'd Bronny. I believe you. Bryce had his back with the chair, though. Oh, interesting. Sounds like hey, Randy's here.
Randy, we haven't seen you in a couple weeks.
Sounds like a exciting game. Cleveland over Dallas. That's no, that's the worst scenario.
Correct.
That would be the worst scenario. Could you imagine? It's like, I don't want the Cowboys to win, but I can't cheer for Deshaun Watson too loud. That'd be interesting. Is Jordan Love underrated? No.
In what universe? As a competitor, maybe.
Maybe for fantasy, but even still, probably not.
He says he has a silly body. Let's be realistic here.
Well, he didn't say that.
No, not that he has silly body, but when he's ticklish, he calls it getting silly body.
Either way, he's the worst.
It's worse, yeah. Yeah, I'm out, but was I ever in? You could debate that.
Too many people are in on that.
Let's get Bronny James on the basketball court.
Fair enough.
Also, shout out to James Madison, man.
Browner, yes, did a 4-team trade.
Oh, hell yeah.
Holy shit.
Send it in. We'll go out on that, assuming something else crazy doesn't pop off. Chandler, trade Eckler, St. Brown, Kincaid for Keenan, Etienne, and Kittle. That's an interesting one.
I don't hate it.
I like it.
Yeah, I would do it, I guess.
Who do you think is more worthwhile for, I'm guessing, full point PPR is what he's saying here? St. Brown or Keenan Allen going forward?
St. Brown, I would lean, but I haven't looked at the schedule.
I think St. Brown has a better chance at touchdowns.
Okay.
I think it's close. Yeah, and Keenan Allen hasn't had his injury yet. I'm not sure if that's fair of me to project that, but
that was a sick catch he had on Monday.
He's awesome. He's incredible. He's still underrated as a receiver.
10,000 yards.
He's so good, dude.
Yeah,
he's so good. No matter who's throwing him the ball, no matter which terrible coach he has at that point, he gets done.
Also, while we're here, the NBA sucks, man. We need to stop taking away rebounds and assists 2 days after the game. That's the dumbest thing ever.
Okay, at that point, yes.
Yeah. Their stats are wildly inaccurate.
It's horrible. Like, Jaren Jackson does not have 4 blocks a game. That just does not happen.
That, and they switch rebound. They credit the wrong rebound person all the time. It switches, like if you play underdog or whatever, it switches constantly in the middle of the game, after the game. At halftime, they do a bunch of stat corrections, which is insane.
Also, I don't think you should be able to bat the ball to a teammate and get the rebound.
No, that counts as a rebound. You control the ball.
I know it does, but I don't think it should.
No, it should.
No.
Rebound's it's a loose term.
So, Trevor.
Like a putback's a rebound and a basket, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trevor, if Zach were to miss a shot and I couldn't grab the rebound, but I tipped it to you, would you would you count that as your rebound or my rebound?
Counterpoint. Let's say you tip it. You try to tip it to me, and it goes to the opposition. Is that a turnover? Because it probably should be if it's a rebound.
That's a fair point. I agree with that. That's a fair point.
So, like, I don't care that it's a rebound, but like, let's call it what it is. Like,
I just think
both ways.
I just feel like you should have to establish position on the fucking ground for it to be a rebound. Like, you have to have the ball in play. Yeah. Like, it shouldn't be you're flying through the air and you touch it. That doesn't make sense to me.
Because then you could just get like, can you imagine how many rebounds Wemby would have if everybody just stood in the corner and you just hit it towards them? You'd have 30 a game.
If tipping it to somebody is a rebound, then a block should be a rebound and a turnover.
Yeah.
If the other team grabs it.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
Which would be interesting. Stoof, very okay. Well, start with your first one. Aliens do the fantasy footballs.
Yes.
Yes.
Sure. Do I start Herbert over Purdy? Asks Randy. Yes.
Yep. I'm still not fully convinced that aliens exist.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
That is actually one of the most surprising things you've said. I feel like if I'd project one person to be super into aliens,
your favorite animals are jellyfish, penguins, and snakes, and then you're like, aliens don't exist.
It's just really hard for me to believe that there's like us three somewhere else in the universe.
There are definitely not us three somewhere else.
Like, what constitutes as an alien?
Not of this, or like just we're not saying parallel universe,
right? Is it like a smart living person thing, or is it just like some kind of bacteria? Smart. Like, if there's bacteria, that's totally an alien because there's bacteria out there. But it's hard for me to believe that there's functioning. I guess you can't call them human beings, but human beings out in the universe.
I feel like they have to be intelligent for it to be alien.
Right.
Like, they have to. Like, I don't know what the right word would be. They have to do something.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like there has to be. We see too much shit. I do think most of the stuff we see is military, but
yeah, certainly.
Still.
Like, I want to believe in aliens. It's just really hard.
Out of the chat.
Okay, here we go.
We're fucking quoting The Ringer. What are we doing here? Before we move on to the fantasy football question, speaking of ice cream, I tried dill pickle ice cream the other day.
Ooh,
why?
Awesome.
Why?
It was great.
No, it was not. You're lying to yourself.
No, it was good. It's like the Van Luren or whatever it is. I know it's for sure sold at Walmart. That's the one that like popped off because they had a ranch ice cream. I never had it, but the dill pickle.
Have a Kraft mac and cheese one now too.
What was it?
I heard that one's terrible. It was okay, so it's still sweet, but it's like tangy.
Is it?
Which I love.
Slow down. Is it like creamy or is it like sherbet Italian ice?
In the middle. It was still a little bit icy, but it was meant to be an ice cream. It was like a French ice cream, they said. It's a little icy, but it's like a dill pickle ice cream. And then there's like ribbons of like fucking pickle juice essentially in it. It was good though. It was like sweet, tangy, and then the aftertaste is dill pickle.
Yeah, it sounds incredible.
Yeah,
like, dill pickle might be a top 3 flavor of all time for me.
It's not something I would eat a ton of. I had like a few spoonfuls and I'm good.
Yeah.
But
what do you eat it with? Like, is it just eat it by yourself? You're not adding anything to it.
I didn't. I don't know what I would put in it. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think you just gotta go.
You just have to eat it by yourself.
I think so. By yourself and just by.
And you're right.
Yeah, don't let anyone see you. But I would recommend it. I thought it was solid. Is aliens wet? In my mind, they're a little moist. Randy, favorite peanut butter. Jif, reduced fat. Fucking slaps. Favorite.
You like crunchy or creamy?
I like them both, but I would prefer creamy, but I like them both. I have like 3 or 4 different kinds of peanut butter, different situations. You know,
I get it. I'm a crunchy guy, but I get it.
If I'm going crunchy though, I always go extra crunchy.
Correct.
The Jif extra crunchy. Correct. Stu's quoting Ringer. Jake Paul or Logan Paul? Give me Jake.
I mean, probably Logan Paul, right? Like, I get Logan. As an athlete, Jake Paul. I like them both, to be honest. And that's probably a hot take. But
Logan's
I like
so
Logan.
good at wrestling.
Logan makes better makes better videos.
Fair enough. He's also better at scamming people, which is
True.
respectable. Okay.
I'm writing this down.
14 trade. Yeah, please do.
So just keep going. I'm halfway through.
Okay. Player A receives. What are all the letters? Is it?
I got you.
From those teams, right?
Yes, I got you. Just give me a chance.
Okay. So let's break this down. I feel like
just rip.
We need to have like a web here. We need to decipher this. Okay. Player A gets Jonathan Taylor, Breece Hall, Amon-Ra, and Hawkinson. Sounds great. Player B gets McCaffrey, Chase, Trevor Lawrence, and Brock Purdy. Player C gets Kelsey, Kyler, Rashad White, Jalen Waddle. Player D gets Etienne, Kamara, and Javonte Williams. I think you got the best.
I love this.
Yes, I do too. I think if we're ranking, he says, of course I can't give everyone's rosters. Yeah, please don't.
Okay, I got it. I got the breakdown.
Okay, the most important thing to know is that player B, this is a word problem, has an unreal overall roster. Good luck. Thank you. I appreciate the luck with this.
I dropped out for logic in college, so this is tough.
Okay, I think I have the understanding, but Trevor, go ahead.
So Team A gets JT, Breece, Amon-Ra, and Hawkinson.
Love that.
For Jamar, Lawrence, Kyler, Rashad, Kamara, and Javonte.
Ooh, it's a lot to give up.
Read that one more time.
Team A gets JT, Breece, Amon-Ra, and Hawk. Gives up Jamar Chase, Lawrence, Kyler, Rashad White, AK, and Javonte.
I don't hate it. That's a lot to give up, but I don't hate it.
Team B gets McCaffrey, Chase, Lawrence, and Purdy, and gives up Breece, JT, Waddle, and ETN. I think that's solid. That's fair.
It's solid. It's fine.
C gets Kelsey, Kyler, White, and Waddle, and gives up Hawk, CMC, and Purdy.
Hate that.
That's not great. I don't like
that.
D gives up Etienne, Kamara, and Javonte, and gives out Amon-Ra and Kelsey. I think that's not too bad either.
I think that's worse than B.
Yeah, but I think C's the biggest loser.
Yep.
D is probably third, then B, then A, maybe.
Can you read what A gave up one more time?
It's going to be a bit, isn't it? They gave up Jamar Chase, Trevor Lawrence, Kyler Murray, Rashad White, Alvin Kamara, and Javonte.
One more time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. One more time.
Chase, Lawrence, Kyler, Rashad White, AK, and Javonte.
Got it.
Actually, I think B wins this trade. I think B is first, A is second, D is third, and C is last.
How many starting running backs did A give up?
A gave up
and two quarterbacks, right?
Rashad, Kamara, and Javonte, and the running backs they got back are JT and Breece.
Okay, I like that.
It makes me feel a little better.
Yeah.
How many players are in this fucking trade? 4, 8, 12, 15 trade. This is whoever thought of this, fucking brilliant. I applaud you. This is the most impressive shit I've ever seen because there's no structure at all.
Was this weeks in the making? I want to know that because this can't be something you put together quickly.
Also, you can tell for sure Team D just came in for the vibes because Team A gave up 6 players and got 4, and Team D gave up 2 to get 3. Like they are not a part of this trade really at all. Took 3 hours in a call. This is why fantasy football is the best. Guys being dudes in a call for 3 hours on a fantasy trade.
Trevor, I think I agree with you. I like B, A, C, D.
This has to be the most impressive trade I've ever seen.
I'm still soaking it all in, but I'll rewatch this later.
Do you want me to read A again?
They gave up 2 quarterbacks, correct? They gave up Kyler and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Am I following?
Yep.
Yeah.
But they didn't get a quarterback back, which is interesting. So does he have 3 fucking quarterbacks on his team?
Right. And how good are they?
Browner, give us Team B's roster. Quick.
Also, give us your third string
yeah.
quarterback.
Give full roster, please. I want. Wow. This makes me feel like next year we should have a show where we go over people's trades, but we get them ahead of time so we can do like graphics and really organize this shit.
Good idea.
Because this is fun.
I
still don't know who got who.
This is one trade. Insane.
One more time. Who did A give up? They gave up Law. I want you to before you read it, I need you to break it up by positions. So I know they got. They gave up
you.
No, it's not. It's 6 people. They gave up 6 people. They gave up Trevor Lawrence and Kyler Murray.
I thought you meant for the whole trade. I'm like, fuck you, dude. This took me long enough. Okay.
No, they gave up Trevor Lawrence and
Team A for quarterbacks gave up Trevor Lawrence and Kyler. For running backs gave up Rashad White, Alvin Kamara, and Javante, and for wide receiver only gave up Chase.
Love it.
Yeah. Okay, I think he's good. I like getting Hawkinson.
I like A and B a lot in this trade.
Yes.
Plus, like, if you have a third quarterback, you're fine.
He has Love and Fields.
Javante for JT and Brees, that's a steal.
Who did B get for a quarterback? Law and Purdy.
Got Lawrence and Purdy.
So they got 4 quarterbacks now? What is this league? Is this a dynasty?
No. Wait, yes it is. What the fuck?
Before the trade, running backs for B are Brees Hall, Bijan, Etienne, Jonathan Taylor, A-Chain. Receivers are Tyreek, AJ Brown, Waddle. Tight end Kincaid. Defense Cowboys, and Jets, and kicker is Justin Tucker.
I think the question that this brings is, why did Team B do this trade?
I'll tell you why Team B did this trade. Because he now has Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, and Jamar Chase, and Christian McCaffrey.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he got Chase.
That's incredible. Team B wipes in this trade.
Is this a 4-team league? I think we're being trolled.
I'm fucking tired.
No, I got it. It's called B-A-D-C.
I want to have like a big board here where I could draw the strings of the players and where they went. This is
like an episode from the league where they auto drafted and they just traded all the kickers around.
He didn't feel good having unused depth.
Agreed.
I feel I have too much money in my account. I'm not using it.
I get it, man.
Fuck that dude.
Hey.
Great. I don't know what else to say. I think we said it all, I think. I would like to have a show where we get people to submit us trades and we grade them and we have graphics and we do it all. I think that would be fun.
How many weeks do we have left for trade deadline in the Market League?
Market League, I think it goes till the end.
Can we do where we have to do a 10-team trade?
And then we all get money for it?
Yeah.
Okay, we can try. We can do our best. I don't know. Okay, Julian had a question in the middle of this. Here we go. PPR, should I start as my running back 2, Gibbs or Javante Williams for my flex? Should I start Davante, or Nico Collins? I think I'm going Gibbs as your RB2. Let me check my rankings. I think that's what I have.
I would go Gibbs over Williams, I think.
Where do I have Javante ranked? Oh, I have Javante 2 ahead. Playing Buffalo, Monday Night Football.
I think this is a game where Denver gets down and they have to pass.
It's the Bills, though.
It is. I get it.
But even if they pass, Javante's going to catch balls. I'll go Javante. I think he has a better touchdown upside.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. I forgot. And Montgomery's back this week.
Right. For the receiver, for flex, it's between Deontay and Davante, I would assume.
Yep.
I think I have Deontay higher. I don't know how I feel about
that. That hurts, man.
I'm going Deontay for sure.
I'm going
I have 3 higher. It depends on what you need, I think. I'll say that. Like, if you just need a solid performance, I think Deontay is going to deliver a solid performance. Davante can, tear the house down. It's the Jets, though. Like,
I get that. I think Davante has a game like Keenan Allen, though, had last week, where he gets like 4 for 80.
I don't know. Like, I don't trust the Raiders quarterback through. I don't trust Aiden O'Connell against the Jets defense.
I get it. Like, I understand. But do you trust Josh Jacobs like more than Davante Adams this week?
Yes.
Maybe. Okay.
Davante can't throw himself the ball.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like Adams has to be used, man.
In my opinion, and this could happen. This is for sure reasonable. The only way Davante outscores Deontay is if Davante Adams scores the touchdown. Because I think assuming Deontay Johnson scores a touchdown is ridiculous. Like, he scored last week in his first time in over a year.
And Roethlisberger.
Yeah, right. So I don't think he scores a touchdown, but I think Deontay Johnson probably has like a 6 for 75 game or something.
Okay. I don't hate it.
I think it's close. I don't think there's a bad choice.
My heart's telling me no.
I get
it. My body's telling me yes.
Ice Freezy.
No.
Pittman, Mixon, and Diggs for Kamara, or for CMC and Amari. Kind of combined them and made Kamara.
Yeah.
Yes, I would. Yeah, I think I'm wanting to get Christian McCaffrey. I mean, that's the thing, right?
My theme on this show is every trade that's involved McCaffrey, I've picked the McCaffrey side.
I don't think Amari Cooper has a good week. So if you need to win this week, then I would decline it. But that's the only way. You're welcome. He said, thank you for leaning into this. Hey, I mean, we embraced chaos. If you watched last week's show, I think, yes. There's videos on the YouTube channel talking about water. I just traded Apple for Flurry Sports. That's a fantastic trade. Hurts not to start Davante. Yeah. Other two wide receivers are Thielen and Amon-Ra.
I don't know if Thielen.
Yeah.
Certainly, yes.
Where do I have Thielen ranked? No, I still have Thielen ranked higher. It's the Bears. You have to play Thielen, I think. Walker or Mixon rest of season? Mixon.
I'm not ready to give up on Ken Walker yet.
Have you seen his playoff schedule?
I have.
It's bad.
He has the Niners twice coming up.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, he's hurt. That also doesn't help. I don't know. Not about it. I suppose we should end this so we can do a quick Lombardi sweep episode. So thank y'all for tuning in. We'll be back in around 10 minutes to talk Green Bay Packers with Lombardi sweep. We appreciate the questions. I may jump on for another live stream at some point this week just because there seems to be a lot of trade stuff. But if you guys want to submit us a shit ton of trade questions, maybe we do a special trade episode next week sometime. But yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate the subscriptions. Go join Fantasy Football by Committee Facebook group. We'll see you in 10 minutes.